Good morning, traders. It is Wednesday, April 17th, 2019. Oh, I'm flashing back to my childhood. All right. Well, it is 5:45 a.m. and we're going to take a look at the markets. But real quick before we do, I just want to remind you to please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And welcome, hello to the new subscribers. And leave me any feedback, comments in the comments below. And especially any symbols you'd like me to analyze or anything you'd like me to take a look at. Things of that nature. All right, let's jump in and start by looking at the S&P 500 like I always do. And we have just pushed right up to this sell zone that I have been looking at for a while now for price to get up there. And sure enough, it is right there right now, right at that level. And this is based on the all-time highs from back in September. And what's going to happen from here? This is going to be very interesting to see because technically speaking, the trend is up, right? The 21 EMA is certainly pointing upwards. There's no arguing that. We still have higher highs and higher lows. We've had no signs of anything reversing. We've barely even had any pullbacks, just some little tiny ones, really nothing significant. And every time price gets to the trend line, it's a buying opportunity, right? This has just been a buy the dip kind of setup, and it really has only gotten even back to the trend line a couple of times. So this has been an incredibly strong push up, and we've managed to get all the way to the sell zone, to the bottom of the sell zone. But we've got the divergence going on. The oscillator, each time price pushes higher, has been getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and then about the same. So right now, the trend is up. The momentum is still to the upside. I do think that there's possibly enough momentum to be able to get up here into the zone somewhere before it gives up and reverses. But I do believe a reversal is coming. It is shaping up. It's just not here yet. Now, on the 60-minute, you can see in a shorter term that certainly price has been going up. But lately, especially since here, although price is going up, the oscillator is really weakening, and right now it's barely above the zero line. It is certainly getting weak. If we double top here, something like that, which we're probably going to do any moment, maybe by the time I'm done with this analysis, but the oscillator is way down here, then I would certainly be looking for a short-term pullback to form, and we'll have to just see if we get that. So we're in a very delicate area, but then again, I mean, I thought that when we were down here, I didn't really think that the market was going to break past this, and it certainly has. So the market can do what it wants. It does not have to give us what we want. So right now, the trend is up. If you're on a daily basis and you're looking at a longer term, you can't really argue with that. But just be aware that we are in a very critical area here, and a pullback is probably coming soon. All right, let's take a look at crude oil, which is just simply continuing to march higher. Momentum has risen. It is definitely on the upside. The price pulled back to the 21 EMA. Every time it did, that has been your buy the dip moment. There have been several opportunities there, several buying opportunities, entry points. And right now, anyway, the trend is just continuing higher. If it takes out this high here, then the next leg is on its way. And right now, anyway, it looks like it's got the momentum to do that. That being said, we've also got this level up here, which the oscillator was there last time it was there. Right now, the oscillator is only down here. So if it breaks higher but does not get a higher oscillator, or gets maybe the same height oscillator, something like that, then we could see a short-term pullback. That would not be unreasonable. And that's normal. In a healthy market, you have pullbacks. You have higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, right? In a healthy uptrend. So a pullback would be perfectly reasonable, and looks like it could be shaping up. But right now, there is still a decent amount of momentum. So I think there is enough momentum to carry this higher, and then form a more significant divergence, and then possibly give us that pullback and head lower a bit. But in general, overall, the trend is up. There's just no denying it, and it is a very healthy, strong trend that is continuing. All right, let's take a peek at gold. Now, gold is interesting because it has given us that 100% bear flag extension that I talked about, that I was seeing this here as a possible bear flag. And sure enough, we got right to the 100% and bounced, and then came back again, tested, held, and right now we're bouncing off of it. So, is that all we're going to get, or are we going to actually manage to get down to the 100% from this flag here on the bigger time frame? This was an interesting setup because we had a daily bear flag, or what I believe is a bear flag, and then we had a 60-minute bear flag within the daily bear flag. So the 60-minute bear flag has come to pass and has given us the 100% target. The daily bear flag has not yet, but it's heading that direction. For a little while there, after this big move down, I kind of thought, all right, it might be canceled, but we didn't get anywhere near to breaking that flag level, so it was just a lower high, and then we've gone on to make a lower low. And we might go to make a lower high and then come back down to make a lower low and hit the 100%. So it certainly could still happen. We could still hit the 100%. But I am noticing this. We've got lower prices, but we've got a rising oscillator. So the oscillator is building strength. That being said, that doesn't mean this can't go down a little bit further before turning around and starting to head higher. So this is an interesting moment for gold, and right now, anyway, I still think that 100% target is possible. Um, yeah, I'm a little less certain because of the rising oscillator. You can see it actually here on the 60-minute as well. That oscillator has been rising, whoops, as price has been falling. And we've got a much more significant one here, a real bullish oscillator. If price can get a little bit lower, maybe double bottom, something like that, this is a much stronger oscillator. So I'm kind of thinking right now that we're at least not going to get one straight shot to the 100% target. It's probably going to give us a pullback, form a lower high, and then form the lower low. But we'll have to wait and see what gold wants to do once the markets get more underway today. And now natural gas. Natural gas has continued to drift lower and has actually broken this low, right? It's gotten just slightly lower than that level. So we have a retest of this level right now. The question is, will it hold? What's going to happen? Now, take a look at this. We've certainly got the new low here, but look at the difference in the oscillator. Okay, it is extremely divergent. It is barely even below the zero line here. So this oscillator is much, much, much stronger than last time it was down in this area. On the 60-minute time frame, in the shorter term, we've got an even more significant divergence with price coming sharply down and oscillator going really sharply to the upside. So if the oscillator on the 60-minute can break above the zero line and push higher, that could be enough to push this oscillator above the zero line as well. And then maybe we will finally have a turnaround here. But I'm thinking we may see a retest of this zone down here first. So it's getting close, and that seems like it might be a reasonable possibility. So we could get a little retest, maybe at the top of this zone before finally bouncing. And we'll have to see what the indications are that that's going to happen, what the technicals are. Right now, the MACD line has crossed back below the signal line on the 60-minute. And on the daily, of course, it's just been kind of flirting with it for a long while, going mostly sideways. But really, that's what I'm looking for here in the natural gas market is a break of the zero line to the upside on the 60, which should then lead to a break of the zero line on the daily, and then perhaps a new uptrend can get underway. But it's not quite there yet. Right now, we're still continuing to make lower lows and lower highs. So trade accordingly and just be cautious in this market because it could reverse anytime. And now Bitcoin is still hanging on to those gains. I'm super impressed. It is really trying to push higher. Will it be able to do it? I don't know. I have my doubts. The oscillator is getting weaker and weaker on a daily basis. You can see even on the 60-minute, it's also getting weaker and weaker here in the very short term. So I'm still feeling like we need a pullback here to properly, thoroughly digest this monster gain here and then maybe launch higher from there. Remember that an uptrend is defined as a series of at least two higher highs and higher lows. And so far, right now, we have the higher high, and you could say, okay, fine, we have a higher low, maybe for now. But if we don't get a higher high up here somewhere above this level, or we don't set a lower low here and then a higher high, and then a higher low, we don't technically have a confirmed uptrend. Right now, we have a push up for sure, but what if price just falls back down into this zone? And it could happen. So we just don't quite know what's going on with Bitcoin yet. It is looking good, though. It's looking like the bulls are trying to take this market back under their control and start a new uptrend. But it's not really confirmed yet. It is just sort of setting up. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. I would like to see a higher low form somewhere above the 4415 level would be really nice. I'd love to see it even above the 4500 psychological level, and then we can launch higher from there. Of course, everybody's been talking about the 5,000 level as being like the magic number, and as long as it holds above 5,000, I think people are going to be of the mindset that the bull trend is back in full force. But I don't think it's that simple. I think it's perfectly reasonable that Bitcoin could fall back down below 5,000 and then launch higher from there. But personally, I would really like to see it stay above 4,500. I'd love to see a higher low form somewhere in that area and then launch higher from there. And then we can have a true pattern of higher highs and higher lows, and a definite uptrend, bull trend will be happening, will be intact. All right, let's take a last look at the S&P 500 here, and still trying to push higher. If you zoom in on the daily, you can see we're right at that zone. If I zoom in on the 60 a little bit, you can see we're getting very close to a sort of a double top here. And that weakening oscillator, weakening oscillator, weakening oscillator. I am leaning right now towards any move up this morning in the first minutes of the open, probably going to be reversed and probably not going to hold because the oscillator is just too weak. There's no momentum to the upside. So this trend is running out of steam on the short term and needs to pull back before being able to launch another attack to the upside. All right. Well, I kind of blew through that one in record time, but everything is still just sort of doing what it's been doing. There's no major new surprises or anything anywhere in any of these markets. So we'll just have to see what today gives us. I'm looking forward to another great day of trading. I hope you are too. All right, that's it for me, Jonathan Van Clute with Stock Navigators. One more reminder to please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and let us know what we can do to help your trading. Give us your feedback. We really appreciate it, and we do read all feedback and take it all very seriously. So I'm here to try to help you, so let me know what I can do to do just that. All right, everybody. I hope you have a great day. Trade well. And until Friday, I will be seeing you then. I'm going to see what the market has for us this morning. Get ready for the premium chat room in about a little less than a half hour or so. And looking forward to an interesting morning. Hey, Christian, welcome to the stream. You're very welcome. Good to see you here. Thank you so much. And we'll see everybody on Friday morning. Take care. Bye-bye.